Hello and welcome to another episode of the Vault Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, MrMac. With me as always, Gary Moore. Gary, how's it going?
Episode 16. Here we go. Been a few weeks since we've recorded and I'm looking forward to this one. This one's going to be a cracker.
It's a banger. Here you get the numbers right and everything, so we're off to a good start. Joining, I should say as always, joining and from all the way over the other side of the pond, artist extraordinaire, stealing the title for Gary Moore. Howdy, how's it going, mate?
I could never steal that title. He's a brilliant, masterful painter. Have you ever seen that? I could never dabble in that medium. It's too brilliant. He's so great. Doing good.
Good, mate, good. I do a wee bit of finger painting and stuff, but other than that, it's, I'm pretty limited to my artistic style. So yeah, fair enough. So as a wee bit of a milestone episode, in that we have episode 15 or 16, sorry. But also we have our second ever guest. Now I'm hoping that this guest won't stay around quite as long as the last guest that we had on the episode. But joining us,
me guys,
is Rahul. Rahul, how's it going, mate?
What up? What up? It is going very well. I'm so pleased to be here. Finally getting to join the Vault Dweller crew on episode 16, Sweet 16. Pretty good.
Sweet 16. See, even did that bit better than me. So maybe we should have him on board. Let's be fair.
next week, I'm just like, what is going on, Vault Dwellers?
How do we meet this guy again? He's so you obviously regular listeners might be familiar with the fact that we've mentioned Rahul a few times. He is our lawyer, whether he likes it or not. He wasn't quite content with the weekly shout out. He demanded his fucking place at the table for a week, so we've had to stump up and give him that. Gary said he'll pay for the cut, but we've not quite told him what the rate is. So listen, we'll just have to negotiate that later.
We'll figure that out offline.
Aye, easy.
My people
easy.
will call your people.
Aye. As long as no cunt phones me, I don't care. Right, we're all good. So this episode is going to be a very fun one. We're going to have our first kind of breakout quiz, and that's the reason why Rahul's joined us. It's because I thought to myself, do you know what? Somebody out there loves doing things like quizzes and just absolutely owning it. And I thought, do you know what? Rahul was the first name that came to mind. And I'm like, I am meshing him, and honestly, the amount of meshes I got after that, I'm like, this guy's got it in the bag. Like, I don't even need. There's nothing, no input,
nothing
nothing
the quiz?
required.
Oh well, here's 12 different formats you can use. Graphic, I don't know, maybe you're just like, cut this guy out.
Cut, man. I'm at work, mate. I don't really know. He's coming out with like a colour chart worth of ideas and stuff. I'm like, right, you've got the job, mate. You go away, run with it. So usually, obviously, we jump straight into what have we been playing, but with Rahul joining us, we've kind of pulled together a couple of wee quick kind of questions and some kind of thoughts and stuff. So we'll turn the spotlight onto Rahul, if you like, and this was really just, obviously we didn't really put it out to the general viewership. It was really just kind of between us, what kind of things that we thought we would kind of throw your way, if you like. Now I've not quite got them in any kind of given order, so all of them just look like we blurry lines to me at the minute as I try and pick one, but I was just genuinely interested. Obviously we touched on the fact that Rahul is a lawyer. He's a lawyer in the video game space. Do you know, I've never asked this question. I don't think I've asked this question right, but see, in terms of the whole kind of lawyer thing, is it just like Suits? Did you have to pass the bar or that kind of carry on, or did you just because if it's like Suits and somebody else passed it for you, then you don't have to answer. But
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, it's a slightly different system, so you do have to pass like a year of law school. So I didn't do law as my degree, but I basically converted and did I changed my degree. But what we have to do is this thing called a training contract, where you basically work in a law firm for 2 years and all of your work gets supervised. And then at the end of that, if your supervisors think that you're competent, then you become a qualified lawyer. So there are law exams, but it's not as like, there's not one serious, like, this is the one, like the bar.
right.
I didn't have to do that.
Right.
And unfortunately, my life isn't really like Suits. I think I will. The day that someone comes to my desk with a big stack of papers and just slams it on my desk and say, "You better win this goddamn case," that's when I'll feel like I'm in Suits. Until that happens, no, I'm not in Suits. My job's nothing like Suits. You better win this goddamn case. You better do it now.
If that happens, it's working at Rockstar.
That's it. Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So, obviously we kind of touched on the excitement of Suits and all that nonsense there, but I think that there must be like a kind of some form of kind of excitement in your kind of role where you obviously you're starting to get more involved in stuff kind of mainstream, if you like. Obviously we kind of gave you that credit a few weeks ago, and then I forgot the game again. But anyway,
it's Somerville.
There we go.
Somerville.
I can see it's on there somewhere.
Xbox Game Pass.
Exactly. Game Pass.
Not an ad.
Definitely not an ad, but we are interested.
My second favorite game last year.
The idea of like knowing things, like in terms of the video game stuff, like knowing things and you kind of discuss it, like that must be quite exciting, man.
Oh, it is cool. I really do like my office environment because one, there is I know confidential things, like I know about games that are coming out in 2025 or have a planned release date of 2025, because really we're doing the really early stage work of like registering a trademark for the name of the game. So obviously I know what it's called. And
FIFA 25.
What? How did you know? Did I leak this? But yeah, and then like we get to know some of that stuff, and sometimes we do have like a very good relationship with our clients, and I'm obviously very interested in games, so I do delve a bit further, and that a lot of the time they'll happily send me like design documents, so I really get to see the concept and
that's cool.
pitch decks and stuff like that, like the really early stage stuff. So that's really cool. A lot of it is in the like very indie space, so I've not seen GTA 6. I don't know anything about GTA 6. I can tell you that now. And Bloodborne 2, I've not seen anything. So,
he's been very deliberate with the choice of the games that he's saying. That's like...
I'll tell you what, I hate for it to come out this way, but the reason I put Sunset Overdrive 2 on our predictions was...
and then, the other cool thing about the office environment is just everyone is into the games industry. Like, everyone on my team knows what's going on. So when a big piece of news breaks, there is this, like, fur in the office. I was like, oh my god, did you read this? Like, I remember so precisely when I found out that Microsoft had bought Activision Blizzard, or it became public news, and it was kind of like 1 o'clock-ish, I think, like UK time, and everyone was on lunch, and I just ran into like my little games team space, like, guys, did you see that Activision bought been purchased by Microsoft? And then they all like, fuck off. No, they didn't. And then everyone started looking at their phones. And then we just like ended up, basically the whole afternoon was just us just discussing like what it could mean and why they might have done it. And it's such a like cool environment if you're a gaming nerd.
Do you know what I would love if somebody in your team hated games, like he just fell into that path, and he's like, fucking games for kids, like just that pure notion.
Losers. It's like one of the people that like really know their shit as well, and it's like, I can't believe I'm stuck in here, relegated to this nonsense. No, that's funny. That actually would be really funny. It actually sounds a lot like it's like a TV sketch. Do you know what I mean? Like the kind of guy running in, he's like, "Oh my god, have you heard the news?" Like, so nah, I do appreciate that.
Like, what?
Pick up the phone. Oh, that's class.
Hey, Jerry,
that's absolutely class. So obviously, I mean, we could probably do an entire podcast if I'm honest with you. Speaking about the lawyer stuff, because I'm genuinely like really intrigued. I have probably a million questions on that side. I think we've sat on Discord and spoke for hours about random nonsense as well. But what I'd like to know, actually it's kind of Hoodie's question, actually, to be honest. I reworded it, but I'll ask how Hoodie asked it, and then I'll tell you the reworded version. But
I'll show you how it sounded when it was bad.
So Hoodie says He said that because I obviously asked the guys, like, if he's got any questions, and who they said, I think we should ask him what it's like being a video game lawyer and part-time assassin, which is obviously in reference to the whole Twitch Toilet Assassin Hitman run that we've done. So I just kind of reworded it to one that you could actually answer, and won't get you fucking arrested. It's basically like, how have you, or do you kind of balance that really full-on full-time job with like Twitch and gaming in general? Like, because obviously, I mean, you just got home, like literally, behind the curtain here, we were supposed to record about 45 minutes ago. Rahul's like, listen, I've been at work and I'm fucking on the way home. So you've literally came straight home and jumped right on this. So, and it's right now it's 10:15 at night. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would never dream of working as late as that, and I work, like, I put a good graft in at work, but that's a lot today. So how do you get that balance?
I mean, I should just caveat say the reason I was late is because I was obviously at work, but the reason I was working so late was because I'm off on Monday for the Super Bowl. I was kind of like trying to front load all my stuff on Monday today. So it's not usually like this. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. And in terms of how do I balance it, there's a really easy answer, and it's just that I don't. I just prioritize my work, and then I stream as whenever I get the chance to. But more seriously, like, I think the thing is, I really like my job. I really enjoy it, and that just automatically makes me spend more time on, making sure things are right, or just getting more curious and like deep diving into stuff. Like, for example, whenever I find out, the next client that I'm working on a deal for, I'll spend like half an hour just Googling that client, checking out what games they have, watching all the videos. And, that's encouraged because, we want to know the client, we want to know their background. And, if you weren't into games, then you can probably just get away with, just doing the deal, doing your work. But I really like, doing the little bit extra. And for me, that just ends up taking up more time. And I kind of just prioritize it because I'm at that point in my career. I'm still like a junior lawyer, so I've only been qualified for 2 years now. And I'm just at that stage where I'm like, I just want to keep learning, and I'm quite not to like big myself up or anything, but I'm very much like, I just want to be a sponge and like absorb everything and just be like a kick-ass lawyer.
You just seem to be one of the lucky son of a bitches that just have just fit a passion into a work, which is very rare, very, very rare for many people. You're just in a lucky position.
It was insane the way that I found out about. I literally, like, I went to university, did a history degree, and then I was like, I don't really know what to do with this. But a lot of people who do humanities, they end up doing a law conversion, and law is like a good job, and that's fine. Like, I'll do that. And but I always really wanted to work in games. And one day I just had this eureka moment. I was like, wait a minute, games companies are businesses. They must need lawyers. That's definitely a thing, right? And then literally Googled like video games law, and then just kind of rest is history. But yeah, I was very fortunate that I was able to kind of fit myself into this niche. And very happy with how it's all going.
That's pretty cool, man. I quite like that, especially the kind of light bulb moment, obviously. Leading right into that cartoon life.
Yeah, I feel like I was watching E3 or something. Or I was watching some podcast, and they were talking about like M&A deals or mergers and acquisitions and stuff like that. And I was just like, man, like all this game stuff. There's quite a lot of industry behind the games. There's a lot of business going on. I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on a second here. I could see my path in here at the minute.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, nice one. So speaking about games, then obviously if you're say you're quite able to fit in the time, whatever, just now, like, clearly you've got some, strong interest. We tune into those Rahul Hoop streams on the kind of occasional Sundays, and obviously you did the direct as well, the Nintendo Direct. You streamed that during the week, which was pretty cool. But I think maybe if you're not playing a lot of games and stuff like that, it probably would be quite good just to check in with like what would your kind of what would you say, was like your kind of main kind of gaming genres of interest? Like, I know people kind of talk about like, what's the games like, these are the games that you need to know me. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about that because I don't think you can. I think that can change on any given day, week, whatever, when you start thinking about it. But do you have like a pull towards like a certain genre?
Yeah, definitely like action adventure, definitely RPGs, and then definitely what's the genre? Okay, yeah, actually,
make up. Pikmin?
3D platformers. I love like 3D
Pikmin.
Just the genre Pikmin. Yeah, like, I am a huge fan of the Pikmin genre. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because I've seen that going around on Twitter, like 10 games to know me, and I was like, I don't even think you need 10. I think in 3 you can pretty much like. I think Crash Bandicoot, like that is my probably childhood like favorite game. First ever game I got was Crash Team Racing on PS1. Is one of my favorite games of all time.
Nice,
a great game.
Then the Monster Hunter franchise, I think that was huge. Monster Hunter was like the first time that I was actually social with gaming. Like usually the only multiplayer gaming I did on PS1, PS2 was like, with my brother, like sat on the sofa or, go to my friend's house and play. But Monster Hunter, I don't know. It was at the same time that I just got Facebook. And so there were like Facebook groups of like, hey, like we're going to meet up here and do multiplayer quests like in my local area. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go to that. And then I became friends with people through that. And, there was no online multiplayer. So you had to be in the same room. And I think it was called like ad hoc play or something on PSP. And so that holds like a very special place because it was just like my first proper like multiplayer, like meeting a community of people. And that's extended to like all the Monster Hunters that have come out with online play. Like, there's people I met playing Monster Hunter who 5 years later I met in real life. Like they were from America and they came to the UK and I hung out with them and they stayed with me and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been really cool.
It's pretty cool, the power of games in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then most recently, I think the game that most of you, if any of you watch my streams, is Genshin Impact. Like I'm just absolutely flipping hooked on that game, and that game has no business being as good as it is for a free-to-play game. Like I literally have like thousands of hours in it, and it's like disgusting. Like how many games I could have finished if I hadn't played Genshin Impact. Like I actually might not have a backlog if I didn't play Genshin. Like insane, but yeah, I just absolutely love it. Streaming all the time.
I've been there myself, looking at clocks and going, "You're joking me! I played 30-something hours of Football Manager. Like I could have like finished God of War twice at this rate. Like I just don't know what it is that kind of beams me towards these kind of games. But it's just one of the things that
it is what it is.
You're always going to find that kind of thing. You touched on it quickly there, just in terms of like meeting people and all that kind of good stuff. The second kind of point for Hoodie, that if I can kind of work that in, was what your kind of journey was to kind of meet everybody. Obviously, we have like a pretty kind of tight kind of Twitter circle, and that kind of thing. And myself and Hoodie kind of went backwards and forwards, and how we kind of fell into this kind of circle when we did our kind of Hoodie episode. Check out that past episode, just a wee nod there. So he was kind of curious just as to see, like, obviously you have ties with like Kumail and all that kind of stuff. So obviously that's probably the initial kind of thing, and then going for there. But do you kind of know like how you ended up?
Yeah, no, I do. So I think there was a smaller group of like UK kind of funny people that I knew. So Kumail was one, Vitz was another one, Lucy, just a couple other UK kind of funny people who I had met in real life. Like I think the first time we all met, we went to like a PlayStation in concert, like music concert at Royal Albert Hall. And then I think we also went to a Rooster Teeth Expo that happened in London, like with Kumail and Vitz and Lucy and a couple others. And then I think pandemic hit and we were all stuck in our homes, and then Fall Guys came out. And then I used to play Fall Guys every single day with Kumail and Vitz at like 5 o'clock, like on the dot. And then I think slowly I got introduced to like the PlayStation party chat. Like there was a big group that had other people like yourself. And then I think I just got added to that chat, and I think I might have played Fall Guys with you, MrMac, for a while. And then just slowly got introduced to the group from there. I think that's literally what it was. It was just post-COVID PlayStation party chat.
It's crazy that, isn't it? Like just how it kind of drags in. Because I know, obviously talking previously, I think it kind of got magnified with two things. One of them obviously was the Fantasy Critic League that I get brought into through you. I think you'd kind of tweeted out that does anybody want to do the kind of league, and I think it was just before you were due to do the kind of draft that first year. I was like, do you know what, fuck it, I fancy doing that. And it was after kind of talking to everybody on like the Twitch kind of chats, because that was when I'd kind of started, was just around about when you started kind of streaming and that as well, or when you were at the kind of point of affiliating that. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, Camille was obviously doing a lot more streaming back then as well. So it probably was just a kind of random raid and talking over PSN that kind of got that link. So I will not keep the spotlight on you for too much longer. I do have a point for Gary just to kind of sum us up, and then I'm sure, I am positive that we'll have Rahul back on this podcast at some point. So if there's any other questions or queries that other people have,
let's get to the end of the episode first before we see how the rest of it goes. This quiz could be absolute garbage. Just be like, this guy, he's never coming back.
It'll be like the hook just off the side. If I could have an animated hook hoodie, that'd be quite good. Just to drag over.
I'll get right on that.
So sorry, you're right, Rahul. We should wait. No premature statements here, but our Gary wants to know. So he's gave you a big compliment and saying that as the number one fan of the Vault Dwellers podcast, what is it that you like about the podcast and want to see us tackle in an episode to come? So obviously it's a wee bit kind of self-feeding indulgence there for Gary, which is not out of character, but
the podcast listeners just go to this timestamp.
Even if you don't quite have anything for the tackle in an episode to come, like I know that you have a good rotation. You've got a lot of, obviously you're doing a lot of traveling and stuff, so that's typically when you listen to podcasts and that. Like, what was it initially that kind of, you enjoyed?
Honestly, I think the first thing is, like, whenever friends of mine start like a new thing, I try and like just support by watching a few episodes, and then I don't know, I just think from the first few episodes you guys had great chemistry. Like, I think it was it was very chilled. Like, it wasn't, I think it wasn't like so structured and rigid. It was very like flowy, like just you guys having a chat, and then you guys were quite funny, and I just resonated with it. I found you guys' comedy quite good. Just that Scottish tone, just like I just need to hear it. I like that. There's something about your voices. I like it.
Helps him puff out the chest in the morning when he's travelling to work. Fucking.
I would try and do like an impression, but I'm just terrible. As MrMac knows, I've tried to do impressions of like Scottish accent on streams. It's just terrible. Now that I'm like seeing you guys on screen face to face, I just can't even do it.
Generally, if he ever does it when I'm in the stream, I definitely like, because I'm quite a passing listener. Like if I'm like in Rahul's stream, like unless he's doing like the direct or anything like that, like I generally would have like the phone sitting on this fucking thing, like just sitting there, and I'll be playing like a game or whatever. But as soon as I hear that accent, whatever, I'm like fucking getting the phone out and this. Hear you, hold on a wee minute. I understand passing, because I wouldn't try an English accent to save myself. So no, I absolutely get it.
So in terms of things to tackle, though, I don't know. I think that's a tough one.
That's no bother.
No, but I'll keep thinking. If something comes into my head like through this episode, I'll just randomly blurt it out. It probably won't make any sense.
Sorry, we do that. We do that quite a lot. We do that a lot. We're actually just trying to fish for episode ideas. We're straight in the barrel at the minute, so it's a new year. It's a slow fucking start to the year. 3 episodes about critic scores in a row we've done, so you can see how original we've been this year.
Oh, so I'm on the podcast because you were just clutching at straws for content. You're just like,
Fucking right, aye. You don't need a lawyer's degree for that, let me tell you that much.
fuck, I guess we've got no choice but to bring this guy on. Jeez. Running out of ideas.
Absolutely. No, listen, we appreciate obviously you coming on the podcast, and even more so just the support. I genuinely, we have a few people who are really, stellar kind of listeners. They will give feedback, and whether they're a few episodes behind, or I've got a few people actually, a few family members and that are actually like right at the starting it for the beginning and things like that. And there's actually a few people that have listened to it who don't really like kind of video games, and they're still kind of tuning in and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. But nobody gives me feedback quite like you there, and I always feed it to the guys as well. So we do know just how much that you you kind of feed into this as a kind of hobby.
I think it's a great podcast. I'm glad you started doing it. It's just very chill. Like, I feel like, I don't know, just a couple friends chatting, and those are my favorite kind of podcasts, I think. Sometimes I have a podcast which has a very specific purpose of like, I listen to this because I want their thoughts on this particular issue. But I think you guys, it's just chill, just like nice background conversation. Obviously, get to learn some cool things about what you guys are talking about, and what games you're playing, and I don't know, it's good banter.
You hear that, guys? There's a very fancy way of him saying that we're not very structured. We don't really know what we're talking about. We just talk a lot of random shit. So listen.
Yeah, but random shit is great.
It's a fine art. It's a fine art doing this. Let me tell you that much. No, listen. Thanks very much again, and hopefully everybody enjoyed getting to know a wee bit about Rahul, how he found us folks, and how he enjoys the podcast. So I appreciate that. So that's the end of the podcast. And
what about the quit just gets cut out? Spend hours preparing this.
So usually as I said at the top of the podcast, we would kick it off with a wee bit of what have we been playing. Gary's favourite segment, as everybody knows. So I'm going to throw it to Gary, give me and Rahul a wee break here for the voice boxes. So Gary, what have you been playing?
So I have been playing Far Cry 6, and I've completed it. I have to say, I went into this kind of arms folded, as they say. I was like, another Far Cry game. Don't know if I'm feeling it. I'll give it a go. Wasn't really fond of 4 and 5. So I went in, but I have to say, I loved this game. Absolutely loved it. It was such a good time. I'm glad of some of the stuff it took out as well. Like the hunting for like pelts and stuff that you could upgrade all your stuff. They took all that out, stripped it all down, and I just have to appreciate that, because it just made me just love this game even more, because it was like RPG light, which was absolutely fantastic. I don't even think there's a skill tree. I'm pretty sure there isn't a skill tree as well, which was perfect as well. All I wanted to do in this game was just blow stuff up, snipe, just whatever I wanted to do at that time, and you could do it. Like for about an hour or two into the game, you had near enough everything at your disposal, and I have to say, I absolutely loved this game. The location was great as well. I loved it. There was kind of like a jungle section and a wee kind of like villagey section of the island, and it was absolutely perfect. I think the Mexican kind of setting was good as well. It felt different. It felt different, but also quite fun as well. A few times, like the way they say stuff, like with like their Spanish accents or Portuguese, I don't know what they speak. Sorry. And they just shout stuff, and I could find myself sitting shouting it, like just shouting it randomly, gorilla and all that, I was just sitting shouting
how do
stuff.
they say? Because we would say like gorilla fighter, right? But they say like something else.
Guerrilla. I just find myself saying this stuff, I just loved it. And some of the weapons are fantastic in that game as well. They're so fun, like the disc that plays like the Macarena and stuff like that. That is just fantastic. And I wasn't really using the special guns, because I'm kind of, when I play games like this, I kind of tend to stick to reality. So I know it's not reality, but I tend to stick to like just sniper rifle, blah blah blah. But by the end of the game, I was like, I'm going to start using all these special guns, and there was like harpoons and stuff like that. And how amazing it was just to smack somebody right into a wall, harpooned into the wall. It was fantastic. Never a better feeling than harpooning somebody into a wall. But I have to say, as I said, I love this game. I can't remember that guy's name again. The guy who's the lead villain.
Giancarlo Esposito.
There we go. He was an amazing villain in this, and I thought to myself, everybody's played like Far Cry. If they have, it's always like pure villain heavy, and you see him about 17 times, and it's like the James Bond thing. You're always so close to you, but you can't kill him type thing. I loved how they just made him like an invisible person in this. He's there, and he's there, but you never get to meet him until the end. And I was like, that is so good and perfect because, as I said, it's that usual trope of Far Cry. You see the villain about 17 times and it's like, oh, you just can't quite get him yet, But I completed that, absolutely loved that. I'm not going for the platinum because it's just not into that. I'm no trophy hunter like MrMac, but that. And
news to him.
That's fine. And my other game I've been playing is FIFA. Just again, still playing FIFA. Did my 2 seasons with Rangers. That's my club. But I've actually going to start my Wrexham season. I started it today. I've not watched the TV series yet, but I'm just kind of shooing that in for when I start the TV series because I know it's going to be a long haul. Try to get them back up to the get them up to the Premiership. So that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, nice shout. You should definitely, if you feel you can anyway, just try and fit that in as soon as you can because you definitely have a bit of a flame towards them. I've even had Mrs. Mac watching it. We just finished it actually the day, so that's me kind of watched it twice. So I don't think Ryan Reynolds needs any more of my any attention from me, but I go watch that TV season if you haven't heard it yet because it is pretty fucking interesting. Sorry, would you say that? Is that you? You're two?
That's me. It's me.
So waiting in the wings patiently for this podcast is our hoodie. What have you been playing, my friend?
I'm going to circle back to Gary real quick. I think the best part of Far Cry 6 is how they leaned into him being in the game, Giancarlo, where they have DLC where you can wear the Los Pueblos Hermanos apron and hat on your character. It's like DLC, which is pretty great.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm like, okay, you know what? That would get me into the game. Yeah. That almost did it. Yeah. It's like I'd do that. I've been playing two very different games. The first one I've just started, which is the Stanley Parable. I've watched it for years, but the Super Deluxe Ultra Awesome Edition or whatever it's called was on sale on PlayStation a few weeks ago, so I picked that up. Man, what a great game! Nice. Even though I know some of the outcomes, there is constantly something else. I'm like, well, I never saw this one. This is brilliant. Like, I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but there are ones that I've stumbled across that are trophies and they acknowledge it's a trophy. And so the narrator who just follows you all around throughout the entire thing is kind of like condescending a lot of the time. But in this scenario, he was very encouraging, but also like, I'm not just going to give you a trophy because you touched a doorknob. Like, you have to earn this. So you're going to go touch 2 doorknobs. And so I had to go around and do that. And then he's like, it just didn't feel satisfying enough for me. So why don't you touch the first doorknob 5 times and then the second doorknob 6 times, and then we'll find another one for you. And that went on for maybe what felt like 40 minutes, but I was laughing the entire time. I was like, this is so absurd. But by the end of that, like, little story within a story, I got the trophy, and it's like, you did it. You didn't waste your time or whatever. It's like, that's the name of the trophy or whatever. I'm like, this is great. This is so smart. I love this.
I really want that section to just be like clipped out of context, just Hoodie talking about touching doorknobs. just that 40-second clip or whatever. But anyways, then I touched the other doorknob 4 times.
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't start with me saying Stanley Parable and go from there. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving it, and I'm excited to see what other endings I can get. I'm probably going to go for the platinum on this one. The other one I played was on Xbox, and this is a little game that nobody's ever heard of or talked about called Hi-Fi Rush. Let me tell you what an amazing game. Holy moly. I played like maybe 15 minutes before I was like, is this my game of the year? What is happening right now? This is so great. As most people know, Sunset Overdrive is my favorite game of all time. I adore that game so much. I replay it almost every year if I can. And I was playing through that when this one came out, and I was like, sorry, Sunset, I got to try this thing because guess what? It's giving me a sequel that you won't. And it does. It goes so hard into that aesthetic of like punk, stylish. I described it as if Sunset Overdrive, Scott Pilgrim, and Edgar Wright all came together, like the comic of Scott Pilgrim specifically, even more so than the movie. Like, if those things came together to make a game, that's what this would be. It's so great in its approach to combat. I think I played Metal Hellslinger last year, and that was very hard for me to get into because I felt like it was more punishing if you screwed up, where I was like, I really got to be on this rock beat. Like I'm off of it. I'm shooting, but it's not hitting, so it feels weird. This is much more forgiving in the way of I didn't hit that guy with my guitar on time, but I should mention this is a rhythm action game. I think that's important to know. And so like for every hit you get on beat, you get a higher score. But if you don't get them on beat, they still reward you. I never felt like I was being punished for playing this game. And I thought that was the thing that kept me going a lot of the time. Aside from that, the story is so good. It is like a straightforward story. I bet you can guess it beat for beat, but the characters are so well rounded and developed that the entire time I was like, I just want to stick with this gang the whole way through. I don't care what happens because they are so meaningful to me. And by the end, I got teary-eyed. I was like, oh, you got me. All right. I love these characters. I love what's happening here. When I finished the game, I was like, I want a sequel. I want to go again. Let's do this. I love that game so much. It was very, very much a surprise for everybody, but a great one that I think by the end of the year I'll be like, wow, what a way to start out 2023.
Can I say
just a question?
No, you go.
Just like when you said scores, like is it an arcade game? Like do you get high scores? Like is that because in my head it was like a
yes.
Oh wow, okay. I did not know that. I didn't know.
Yeah. Cool. So there are tier ranks similar to Devil May Cry of you get S tier for the best, whatever have you, A, B, C, D. And they'll score you on your tempo, they'll score you on your timing. So like in Whiplash terms, the amazing Damien Chazelle movie, are you rushing or dragging? A lot of the time. And if you're either, you will get hit by a chair. So, it's that little meta game within it too, because I don't really care about scores, but by the end of it, I was like, I could have done that better. I could have. And so I'll just do it again. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to just do this fight again. I screwed up. I'll do it again. And it was really fun, actually, because there are so many dynamics, and obviously no spoilers, but you get stuff throughout it. And there's a store where you can buy different combos and different special moves. And those special moves interact with characters differently. Like if you hit certain beats for like the air guitar move, you'll send out a big cosmic blast, and it's awesome to watch. And it's always like, it's like a comic book. It's always popping. There's like bams and whams happening. It's so much fun and dynamic in the combat aspect, but it is, if you are great at it, you will get the most out of it. If you're not great at it, you'll still have a great time, which I think was very important for this type of game. Also, there's not an incredible amount of accessibility settings, but enough where I was like, okay, I have no rhythm, none. So I had to like change it where the only button prompt that comes up is X. So I just didn't have to worry about like, well, I have to hit X, Y, B, C, all of those. I thought that was a nice touch to it, and also you can change the beats per second, which is also a good thing. They try to help you a lot with that, but I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's my tinykin for this year. Like, wow, I got done with that game.
For hoodie.
Whew, honestly, I got done with it, and I was just like, wow, what a great experience. And just out of nowhere.
I have to say, see, when I woke up that morning, for us, it was morning time, I woke up and opened my phone and I seen it, and I was like, oh, this looks like a good game. And then I just scrolled up and I seen Xbox, and I was like, bastard. Like, this is like the first game, I think, in about 9 years that I've looked at an Xbox game and think to myself, I wish I could have played that game. But
is it on PC?
Yeah, man.
Like Game Pass for PC?
PlayStation loyal.
Okay,
How dare you?
I think Rahul brings it up, but that's a great thing is that it was on Game Pass. And I think that helps a lot for making sure that there's an audience for this, because I think Sunset Overdrive, I presume, sold fairly well, but not the heights that a Ratchet and Clank would for them, or even Spider-Man, right? And that was one that was an Xbox exclusive, again, in that similar vein, and I don't think it reached the audience it should have, and so I'm glad that this was on Game Pass, so more people would be like, you know what, I will try that out. And then once they did, oh wow, yeah. This is great. I mean, also you could buy it for $30, super cheap, so, or USD specifically.
Pretty crazy that the studio that released that game have made horror games for the last 2 years.
I know, right?
It's like, I think this is their best rated, critically rated game ever. So it's like they made horror games for 20 years and they get 75s and 80s. They do one non-horror game and it's just 90. Shadow Drop 90.
I know, right?
Like, do you think they're just sat there like, guys, we fucked up? Like, we're just
all these years we've wasted.
It is that thing of when I saw Tango Gameworks come up, I was like, aren't those the people that made The Evil Within?
Yeah, and was it Ghostwire Tokyo as well? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another one. Like, oh man, what a shock! I believe game director and writer John Johannes, I want to say, is his name, just did an incredible job here for just coming out of the park and being like, we're going in a different direction and nailing it. I also love how tight it is. I never once felt like, we could have skipped this. It's really in out. We're having fun. That's it.
Awesome. You get anything else on the cards with you? Is that was pitting up your time?
Yeah, that was it. That was my big game.
Awesome. So I actually I've played that game as well. Not for too long, but I did put it on. Just because I've seen a few people talking about it, I kind of clicked on it, and I've only maybe played about an hour of it. It is really, really fun. Like Cody said, there's some options. I have no fucking rhythm either. I'm too technically minded for that. So I just, there's a thing you can turn on and it makes everything a wee bit like I couldn't tell you how many beats there are in a fucking song or anything like that or anything. So
how many beats there are in a song? Is that a thing that people know?
There's like a thing now that you can make come up on the screen, and it just makes it that much easier for you to actually hit it. Like, because I just hear music, so I'm like, I don't know, because it's like you're supposed to be to hit it to the beat of the song, and I'm like, I just hear the music. I don't hear the beat. I don't hear nothing. There's a guitar and the other things, but I don't know what am I supposed to do. So anyway, the point is, it is a lot more accessible than just than it maybe looks anyway. So it's pretty fun. I did try it. You know what? On the Game Pass, streaming it at one point on another device, and it didn't really work just with the lag. But I don't know if that was my internet as well. But I would recommend just trying to get it on the console just for that reason. And
a helpful tip that I found, I mostly play games without sound because I have issues with a lot of sound. So at parts, I would go into bosses that I was like, man, I can't do this. And I was like, well, what happens if I turn off the sound? But had the vibration of the controller on, that really helped me get down the rhythm better of it warns you when they're about to hit. So I would only have the vibration to tell me that. I thought that was a fun tip or trick for getting through some of the harder bosses later on, because they get big and wild, man. They they go all out. So
nice.
Yeah, good tip.
That's quite good. Good tip, especially for helping anybody out. So I'll get back to it at some point, but it was fun to kind of check it out and see what the fuss was all about. I've been playing God of War still. I've still got a lot to get through with that. I think I'm at the halfway point now. Every time I play it though, like I find it hard, so I try to dedicate time coming up here and play games in front of the screen, especially being away last weekend and just other things and any other reason or excuse not to come up here for some reason. But I just haven't I have a birthday to Jillian, so that was her birthday last week. So it was just we were away and I just didn't make time to come up and play more. But hopefully I'm kind of looking at trying to get some time set aside soon so that I can get through it, because I'm really enjoying it. I'm divided whether I want to do the kind of main quests. Obviously we'll stay vastly away from spoilers here, but whether we wanted to kind of do the main quest or go back and do or keep doing the side quests as I go, because I don't want to be like over encumbered with the fact that I'm playing the side quests, but the side quests are that fucking good that I just want to go and do everything. So
we're talking about Ragnarok,
Ragnarok. So I'm looking at the fucking image on my screen, thinking that other people can see it, because that's like, cause I use an app for like tracking all the games that I'm playing or that I want to play or whatever else. So I just took screenshots of that because I had to do research for the games that I'm playing. That's fucking terrible, isn't it?
What even is the same called? I don't know.
It's honestly, Rahul, it's fucking something else. So obviously I got a good list. I kind of went through this on my, when I was doing a stream on Twitch. I ran through the kind of 6-7 games that I got at Christmas. I still have those 6-7 games that I got at Christmas and my birthday. I've not even started any of them, purely because I've been playing God of War. And then Mrs. Mac gifted me for my birthday, gifted me with a nice Steam Deck just at the end of January. So that's now opened another marketplace for me to just sit and look at games similar to Netflix. I'm just looking and anyway, the point is that I've used it so far. I've used it for 2 different things. It's actually, at the time of recording, it's Steam Next Fest that's been on for this week. I think started this week. It ends after this weekend, and it's basically like a whole bunch of kind of indie games, and they've been like dropping their demos and stuff and really going hard at kind of promoting and getting some good spotlights and stuff on them, which like I really love indie games. And going off of what Rahul said, like this machine is pretty much an indie's kind of dream in terms of how it runs and all that kind of stuff on the Steam Deck. So I've actually tried kind of three demos already this week, maybe 4 actually, but the 3 of them that really clicked with me that I couldn't put them down till I finished. There was a game that I've actually picked up in our Fantasy Critic League, not the one for the Vault Dwellers, but the one for the kind of league chat, is Planet of Lana, which is a bit of a kind of 2D side-scrolling game. It actually makes me think of Horizon quite a bit, just with that style, and it's kind of robots and that kind of stuff, but it's more like avoiding the kind of robots more than anything else, especially that's what the demo was anyway, and kind of having to come up with more fancier ways to try and take the robots out. So for example, you've got this little, I can't remember what it actually is now. It's like a rabbit looking thing. Anyway, I think it's like a rabbit cat. Honestly, there's some cat features to it, that's for sure, but you kind of tell it to stay or follow you, and that's the kind of simple basic kind of commands, and it can also cut like ropes and stuff. So there's these things that have like there'll be stuff stuck to the wall and you need to kind of stay on a certain spot to make it come out for you to jump on it, so you can kind of tell the kind of animal to sit there, and then so that it activates it, and then you can kind of get across. So it's a wee bit kind of puzzle solving to try and get through the kind of area, and then eventually in the demo you come across a robot which every time it sees you, or the companion, it will be alerted to you, and you just get, that's you, you're kind of done, you have to do that bit again. But in this one you have to kind of be seen by it, and the robot will actually run like underneath these pile of logs, at which point, if you've made sure you've kind of sat your companion next to the rope, you just kind of press Y and it will cut the rope and destroy the robot. So it's just kind of finding like these little kind of stupid things.
Sounds like Abe's Odyssey.
Probably that kind of thing.
Can you fart in it?
No, I'm afraid not. So this at this point, as I've been playing a lot of kind of demos and stuff on it, the other two was when we ran The Last Child, which was again a bit more of a kind of side-scrolling Metroidvania kind of game. I played a decent amount of it. I don't think you could save it. I actually played so much. I played to a certain point and I was like, I am going to buy this game, so I don't want to play anymore. I don't know if you have ever kind of done that in a demo where it was like, I don't know if this is the actual main story, but I'm in and it's late and I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore yet. There was a boss fight and stuff and I'm like, this is me, like I'm finished with this just now because it's really clicking with me. It's, you know, loads of different kind of ways to get around the map and different kind of button combinations and stuff. So I thought, you know, I'm going to kind of stick to this, and it is a bit more attack focused and that as well. You've got, you know, different things that you can kind of shoot and melee attack and that as well. So I would recommend kind of checking that demo out. Sorry, where you can. And then the last one is Fable Dome. So it was a kind of, I'm terrible for games like city building games, and this is exactly what that is. It's just like Gary's laughing because he knows that I'll play, when this comes out, I'll play like 100 hours of this easy. Like, you just have to build like a wee town, and it actually plays pretty well on the Steam Deck. I don't know how much or how long it would be able to go, because I just kind of did like one little tile. So I don't know if you were playing the full game, if you could really run it on that, just because of the trying to kind of move around. But I'm sure somebody I've only played Steam Deck for maybe a week, so maybe somebody that's a bit more familiar with the button mat, and we could maybe come up with like a creative way of getting around the map a little bit easier. But I think they've already fixed some of the bugs that I'd kind of came across already in the demo, so maybe I'm sure they'll come up with some other ways for us to be able to kind of scroll in and out a little bit better and move around the map. But it's a pretty basic enough game that you could easily kind of run it on that kind of, you know, system, rather than having to wait for or trying to run it on a PC. And then just obviously sticking to the Steam Deck, I used to play. Obviously, I get the Xbox Series S here, so I'm on the Game Pass train as well. I know I'm terrible.
Consoles you got that is?
I've got the Switch somewhere. The Switch is somewhere here as well. But anyway, so because I've got the Xbox there, obviously, you know, my phone contract actually comes with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate already. So I'm paying for it. So I just somehow now think that that's me. It's free now. So I try and make the most of it. I used to play on the iPad, but now because of the Steam Deck, I can now play my the games that, you know, through that instead, and it's just a much kind of better image and stuff. The only issue, obviously, that it's streaming only, which is the same with the iPad, but it's just obviously you got to pick and choose your games. So I'm still chipping away. This is my last game. Sorry if I've been speaking for forever. I did just get I've discovered fucking the Steam store, do you know what I mean, and demos and stuff, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I don't usually speak this long for this segment, but anyway, so I've been chipping away at Persona 5 Royal, and I came to a bit of realisation. So I'm about 22 hours in, I think, and I was telling Gary that I made the mistake. I've played this already, not all the way through, but I played up to the end of the kind of first main kind of boss, and really, really enjoyed it, but just fell away from it. So when I started playing it again, I was like, I want to play this to completion. I want to see all the people, I want to see all the bosses, and I want to make sure that I do all the stuff and all that. So I've been playing with a guide, and I'm really enjoying it. But at 22 hours in, I'm realizing that I've put it on like the most fucking easiest mode, and I'm like fucking smashing people. And it's the combat's just not quite as fun, and I think the combat's so good that I'm doing it a real disservice by not. But I'm 22 hours in. I don't really want to go back and do it again, and you cannot increase the difficulty from this setting that I've put it on. Like, if I did the easy, it would have been fine, but I've went like war under that because I'm like, fuck it, man, I'll just do it. I just want to play this game, but I think that I should have done it at least. I probably should have just done it normal because I could play the game. It's not like it's too hard for me or anything. So, especially playing with a guide, I would have been fine. But it is what it is. I'm just going to probably have to keep going because I just don't see myself, going back and trying to do that all over again. It would probably take me, with the time that I'm playing it, it's just far too much for me. So, we're just going to have to keep going, batter in, and hopefully I'll just get over that fact, because boss fights are a bit harder, but other than that,
it's so like sad suddenly.
I know I am, because I'm just
ruining the experience for myself.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's like bringing it back for me, Rahul, honestly, is that I'm quite structured in how like I like to do things, like, and how I like to set, like, that's just how my mind works in general. So using this guide, like, I'm like, right, what we're doing today, and I'm looking at the guide, and it's like, all right, go and see this, return this DVD, pick up this DVD, go and study here, go and check this person out, and see when I'm doing that, and I'm getting like rewarded for doing that, because obviously this guide knows like what to do to get the best stat boosts for XYZ. Now I am fucking one tapping people anyway, so at the best of times. So I'm not really doing it for any other reason. Plus, I'm not on PlayStation, so I'm not doing it for the trophies. But I like the idea of experiencing a lot more of this game through like going and talking to people and hanging out with people and just getting other wee snippets and just learning about all that kind of stuff. So that's probably the saving grace for this game, is that I am trying to stick to the guide as best I can, just to try and maybe, I don't know, get some sort of satisfaction for playing this game before I get bored and stop playing it, because I won't try it again. This is my last time, so I won't try it again unless, and I'd have to wait for another Persona title. But it is really good, and a lot of people speak so highly of it, and I really enjoyed each time that I've done this first kind of boss. I really enjoyed it, so I just need to kind of stick in and it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Can I just say before we move, Rahul, I can't wait till episode, we're in 24, sorry, and Mr. Mac starts me. Mr. Mac starts me. So I've put another hour of God of War in.
That's actually about right, by the way. Let me just say that. You go, mate.
I hope your game of the year list is just demos.
Hi. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Rahul, do you have one just before we start the quiz? Do you have a dig at me there? Because they two fucking done it.
Wait, what?
They two are slagging me, so you must have something.
No, I'll leave you be.
You passing, right? That's good. Hey, okay, so that is our segment of what have we been playing.
What shall we be playing?
I don't get to say what I've been playing.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what? You're right. I'm going
you don't get to.
That's so terrible. I actually gave Rahul the heads up before it and everything. I'm like, by the way, with Dave, what have we been playing? So you just need to make you all right? You good to kind of be able to tell us what you've been playing. So anyway, so apologies. You're right. Forgive me, Rahul. What have you been playing, mate?
Right, so I think obviously I've been playing Genshin Impact, game as a service. I keep playing it. I'm not going to bore you guys by going into like what's happening, because to be honest, I don't know what's happening. The story just gets drip fed to you over months. So at this point in time, I don't really even know what's going on. Like the point of the story is that you're trying to find your twin sister or your twin, because you can play as the boy or the girl, and you're just trying to find them. You get separated. One of them gets captured by this god type thing, this entity, and you're just trying to find them. But honestly, it's been like 50 hours of gameplay since I've last heard mention of this like long lost sibling twin.
Oh my
God
God.
knows what's going on there. Like, we're probably never going to find them. But yeah, playing Genshin. I think one kind of hidden gem, which I'm not seeing too many people talk about, but I've just been completely enamored with it, is this little RPG game called Chained Echoes. Don't know if any of you guys have heard of it. It is on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on my Game Pass list.
And it's on PC as well. I think PlayStation. I think it's on everything actually, but yeah, it's probably easiest to play on Game Pass.
Ooh.
And it's just this really cool SNES style RPG game, but it just has these really interesting mechanics where everything matters. Like you can never get overpowered because of how your leveling mechanics work. So you don't level up by gaining experience points from killing enemies. Basically, you have like a series of skills that your character can learn, and every time you beat like a big boss, you can basically choose one of those skills to unlock for your character. So you can also level up your equipment and your armor and stuff like that, but the equipment and armor you get is gated by your progress, and the skills that you can learn is gated by the bosses that you've beaten. So actually, you can never really be in a situation where you've over leveled, and you can't really grind to become OP. And for some people, that's kind of a turnoff, because I know there are people out there who love to just, they'll be in the starter area for like 20 hours, and then suddenly they'll be blasting through the game, like one-shotting bosses. And some people like that, and fair enough. But I think because they have built the game in this way, it allows them to make very like thoughtful decisions about what kind of you actually have to have a strategy for the bosses. Like your strategy can't be, oh, I don't really understand this boss, let me just level up for 20 hours and then I'll just one shot it. Like you actually have to think like, right, what skills have I chosen to unlock? What will work well together? How am I actually going to achieve this? I think it's just a completely different way of playing, and I don't know. I think it's just cool because every battle matters. Like you can walk into like the overworld, the open world area, and fight some random some minions, like some mob of enemies. You can get absolutely demolished by them if you're not paying attention. You can't just smash A and do your general attack and beat them. Like you absolutely have to think about everything. Which is really cool. And then it has this really cool mechanic called the overdrive bar. And essentially, it's a little bar in the top left corner. It's got like a red section, a green section, and then it's got like a yellow section, a green section, and a red section. And essentially, every time you take an action, the bar will move like sort of from left to right. And your aim is to always have this bar like in the green section. And when it's in the green, you're in like the overdrive like mode where all of your attacks do more damage and they take less mana to cast those spells. But then if you use too many and it goes into the red, then your skills do less damage and it costs more mana to use them. So you're also having to manage this situation where if you defend or if you use an item or if there are other ways to basically lower the gauge. So essentially you've got this balancing act of, okay, like I'm going to plan to do this move and then I'm going to use this move and then I'm going to use this move. But then you'll do the first two and then you'll realize, oh crap, I'm in the red. Now I need to like change my strategy. Otherwise, I won't even be able to cast the spell because it now costs double mana or something like that. And the way that the most efficient way of lowering it is that next to the bar, there'll be a symbol for a category of skill. So there are like offensive skills, there are buffs, there are debuffs, there are utility skills. And basically there will be a random symbol in like next to the bar. And if you use an attack of that symbol, then it lowers the bar. So you kind of have to plan in advance. So like it'll say, oh, if you use healing magic or if you defend or switch a character out or use an item, that will lower the bar. but if you use anything else, it will increase it. So now you have this part where you're like, right, I have 2 characters that can use healing magic. I know that one of those characters has to use healing to lower the bar so it stays in the green segment.
Yeah.
So then suddenly, like, your strategy is just crazy. You can't just spam your favorite attack over and over again. You really have to, like, make a decision every single time about, you know, maybe only one of your characters has, like, healing magic. Then you're like, right, when it becomes their turn, even if all of my characters are fully healed, maybe I just use the healing magic just to lower the bar.
Just to get it. Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's such a simple thing, but it just makes you have to think so much. And like the boss fights in that game are crazy because suddenly you get some bosses that like distort the bar. So then suddenly you've got like a little section of red, a little section of green, then a big section of yellow, a huge section of green. And you're just like, it just changes everything. And it's so cool. And it's super unique. And yeah, I'm an absolute stan for Chained Echoes. I think definitely check it out if you like RPGs. It's like the complete opposite of like a mindless grind. So if you don't want to think, then maybe play something else. But like if you really want to get immersed in like the mechanics and the combat, then definitely check it out.
I think I'm gonna. I've got it on the kind of list. I seen it on Twitter at one point. And the guy who kind of made it had tweeted out about it, and that's what the actual art of the game kind of drove me to it, because it does look really, really cool. And
I mean, it was developed by one guy.
That's it. Exactly.
It was an amazing story,
and
I'm pretty sure it's sitting on 90 on OpenCritic. It's very well deserved. I mean, I think I'm probably in the middle of like Act 2 out of 3. So I'm probably like 60% through, I would say. But yeah, it's awesome. Like just fully soaking up all my time. And I'm playing it on Steam Deck. I play it on my commute to and from work. It's really good.
That's pretty good then if it runs, because I think it's on Switch. And when I originally seen it, I was like, I'm going to get it on Switch because I just like that kind of handheld kind of idea. But probably the Steam Deck would be the preferred out of the two. But I think it's something that I would like to probably try when I know that I'd have to dedicate the time to it, because it does definitely sounds like there's a bit to it, obviously, than just, as you say, switching off and being a wee bit kind of mindless to it. So that's one that I'm just definitely high up on the list, but it's just there's so much to play.
Yeah. And then I guess the other things I'm playing, I'm also just checking out a few demos in Steam Next Fest. There's one title called Enenra, so it's ENENRA, and it's basically it's a guy who's developing it as a solo developer, but he's like a combat designer from Ninja Theory, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's like a combat designer there, and it's like this really cyberpunky looking, like just full focus on combat. It looks dope. I've been playing that, and then I want to check out Planet of Lana as well. I've got that downloaded, but I haven't had a chance to yet. And then I've also downloaded the demo for Octopath Traveler 2 and for Sea of Stars. Like Sea of Stars looks like another Chained Echoes. Like I'm just completely in love with the art style. The mechanics looks fantastic. Like it's that similar, like, every battle matters. It's all curated, no random encounters. But yeah, it looks so good. But yeah, a lot to play.
That's good, man. Good. I'm glad we're repping the demos, and I'm glad we gave you a turn to talk in what have we been playing. It's no, that's good. So I didn't cut you off there. That's you for your
that's
what
me.
You've been
That's
playing.
me. I think there's a lot coming out that I'm gonna play. I mean, like Wild Heart is coming out soon. The full game of Octopath Traveler is coming out soon. Atomic Heart. I don't know. There was some gameplay. There was like an 8-minute video that came out about it, and it looks incredible. And I was just like, I feel like, I don't know why, like I just have this unease because I've never heard of the studio and I don't know anything about the game, but like everything that I'm seeing makes it look incredible. And I'm just like, is this going to be like the next like Fallout, because to me it looks a lot like Fallout, and I'm just like, but like more scary and like a bit more of a horror vibe to it, like a BioShock mixed with Fallout. And I'm like, this looks incredible, but for some reason I'm just like trying to temper expectations. But I'm really keen to try that out.
It's funny, I feel the exact same way with that game. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it looks really good. I love BioShock games, and I'm like, oh, it looks really good, but there's just something about it. I'm just like, this is just going to fucking like come out and be shite or something. But it looks good.
We've just been conditioned to feel like that for like all these types of games. Like it's going to be buggy and broken. The quest lines will get bugged and won't work, and I feel like there's going to be something, but.
Plus, MrMac has it on his fantasy league, so I want it to be fucking pants.
I think I've got it in our like Twitter fantasy league, so yeah, I'm hoping it's good.
There you go. Team Steam Decks, yes, come on. all right. So that was what have we been playing? Our Gary's favourite segment. Now we mentioned at the top that we're going to be doing a wee quiz. And our Rahul was kind enough to dedicate his time. Probably took him 5 minutes because he's just on the ball. But he's pulled together a wee quiz. So I'm going to pass it over to Rahul. He's going to be running the show, until we go to the sign-offs probably. And he's going to first obviously talk us through rules and all that good stuff. So Rahul, the floor is yours.
Awesome. So. As you've already mentioned, we've been talking about the Fantasy League, and the way that it's scored is it's based on the Open Critic score, which aggregates review scores from loads of media outlets. And so we thought it'd be really fun to do a quiz based on guessing Open Critic scores for games that have already come out. So Fantasy League is forward-looking. What do we think future games? But let's look back at some of the games that have come out in the past and have a little chat about their Open Critic score, how they scored, but we'll do it in the form of a quiz. So what I have done is there are going to be 3 rounds. One round is based on Xbox games, one is on PlayStation games, and one is on Nintendo games. I have selected 5 games for each platform, and essentially we are going to play a game of higher and lower. So I'm going to start off with each round by giving a base Metacritic score. So it could be 70, 75. And then I'm going to name each game one at a time. And we can have a little chat about the game. And then you guys have to guess whether the Open Critic score is higher, lower, or the same as the score that came before it. So once we've had a chat and everyone's told me their scores, I'll reveal what the actual answer is, and then we'll move on to the next game. So you're always trying to guess higher, lower, or the same as the previous game, not like the base.
Yeah.
And the way that I'm scoring it is it will be 1 point if you guess higher, lower, or the same correct. If you'll get 2 points if the Open Critic score you give is plus or minus 1 from the exact score. Okay. And then you get 5 points if you get the exact score. So essentially, let's say, for example, the base Metacritic score I start with is 70, and then I'll say the game Crash Team Racing, you would say, I think it's higher than 70 and my score is X. Mm-hmm. And then once I've got all your answers in, I will then score it, and then we'll just go on in that fashion. And then at the end of each round, I'll give you an update, and then we'll find out who wins.
Smashing!
Oh, I'm excited!
Fantastic!
So we are starting. So the order I have it in is Xbox round, then PlayStation round, and then Nintendo round.
Sounds good.
So here we go. I think we'll just crack on straight with it. So. Xbox round, the base score I'm starting with is 75, and the first game on the list is Sea of Thieves.
Oh man!
So who's played Sea of Thieves?
So
you played it
I'm
quite
all
a bit,
about it,
right?
man. I'm all about it.
I love it, dude. Love it.
All about it. It was such a good game for that multiplayer and stuff like that. But if I remember, so this is also where it scored.
When it first came out.
When it first came out.
Yeah. This is quite a mean one, I feel like. But
yeah,
it's funny though because
it's my quiz. I'm going to be mean if I want.
Oh, of course, 100%. In my head, I'm like, how much do I say? Because these guys have to go. I mean, I'm playing against these guys.
I know.
You know what I mean? But,
no, I can.
Do you think it gets a rare bump?
I mean, I don't know how you want to do it. If you want to go one at a time, or because in my head I was thinking like you could hold up like higher or lower and a number on like a piece of paper, but obviously Hoodie doesn't have video, so that I don't know. But I don't know.
No, we just go kind of randomly with the discussion, just with Joe, where you were taking your time to get here. With a wee kind of discussion about what we were kind of thinking. We had thought about like, you know, people going kind of first, second, third, whatever. But I think in the end we just said Duck will just say it whenever it kind of comes to it. But
yeah,
you know, I don't mind going first if I'm honest with you, because so there's 75. Jeez, man.
Yeah, so that's the base. So do you think it's higher, low, or the same as 75?
Does any Xbox game get higher than 75? Shots fired.
Oh man.
I'm going to say lower and say 74.
Wow.
Ooh. So you go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just remarking on Max. It's no.
Nobody liked this game when it first came out.
What a betrayal, dude! What a betrayal to a great game. You should be supporting it. Stop playing this Metacritic game and start giving it a score that it deserves. You know,
I'm telling you,
99.
99. Wow. Is that your final answer, Hoodie?
No. I'm gonna say it's higher. I'm gonna say it's a 77.
Okay.
Is that how that works? It's a 77.
Yeah. So that's your guess on what the Open Critic score is.
So if I remember correctly, this game came out and it shit the bed when it first came out. It was a bit of a mess.
Wrong.
So I'm gonna go low, and I'm gonna say 68.
Oh, fuck off! Didn't they bet less than 70?
Okay.
Telling you.
Oh, see, now you're on my side, Mac. What the hell? Where are you?
People didn't like it. I remember people.
There's a lot in. So to confirm, Mr. Mac has said lower with a score of 74. Gary has said lower with a score of 68.
Yep.
And Hoodie said higher with a score of 77.
Mm.
There is a leader at the moment. The game scored 67 when it came out. So Gary, Gary being plus or minus 1 point off gets 2 points on that. And Mr. Mac,
great job,
1 for getting lower correct. And Hoodie, unfortunately, you are lagging behind with 0 so far.
Yeah.
All right.
With like 1 negative point.
Oh no, you're no, I'm not doing negative points. That could be quite. All right. The next game to follow on. So remember now, is the score is this game got a score higher, lower, or the same as 67, which is what Gears got. Gears 5.
Oh,
Gears 5. Oh, that's got to be higher, isn't it? It's got to be higher. Just by how much?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's not got to be as low as that.
I think Gary's right though. Is anything above 70? I love Xbox. I have one. Just listen, man. Yeah. We're not in PlayStation team.
Yeah,
the thing that I wanted to do is just make you question everything. Is it? Like, it's a trick question? I don't know.
Oh. I know a few things. Joe, what comes to mind is there was Gears 5 had like a few like good like set pieces and stuff like that as well. I didn't play it at all. I'm fairly new to the Xbox ecosystem and that, but I played one of the old Gears games. They always kind of do generally. It's not like a Halo kind of thing where I know Halo's held in high regard as well, but in terms of like reviews and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that it would have scored, you know, fairly decent. Just in terms of order, just while we're kind of doing an ongoing fucking do by the rules, should we just kind of just swap it so the hoodie goes first, then Gary, then me, and just kind of keep rotating that way.
That works.
Just want to keep doing that as we go live, just so that I'm not always going first and Gary doesn't always go last, kind of thing. So, that's my only thought or input is that I'm pretty sure there's a few good set pieces. So for me, it's higher. But...
So the only thing I can think about this game, I'm pretty sure this was a game that Gears fans thought this one wasn't as good as the rest of them. I'm pretty sure this was the one that was obviously halted the brakes on Gears the new. I think there is a new Gears game coming out now, but it halted the brakes on it for a wee while, because I think this was the one that people were like, they're taking it.
See, now this is my favorite Gears game. I loved Kate as the main character. I thought she was by far better than anything we've gotten. I was glad we exited the dude bro era. I really vibed with this Gears.
Hoodie just likes muscly women.
I don't know if Abby's my favorite character in The Last of Us. You know,
nothing wrong with that.
Let's see. Oh, I think it's definitely higher. There's no way it's lower than Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with 79.
Okay.
Right.
I'm saying higher as well, but open critic's quite hard because you're kind of taking for everybody. So I think stuff tends to be a bit lower. So I'm going to go 76.
Okay, so higher. 76.
And I'll do higher and...
You're going to go between us?
81, Rahul.
81.
81.
Okay.
You believe in this game, but not Sea of Thieves.
You were all correct. It did get a higher score than Sea of Thieves, but everyone was slightly underrated it. It got 85.
Wow!
I was going to say 83 as well, and I just underbaked it. Oh damn! Oh well.
Shouldn't have listened to Gary. They do have games above 70.
That's really interesting, though. Like, did that surprise you, Rahul, when you looked it up?
It did. Yeah, because so the way that I came about, like, because as we were doing rounds for each console, I tried to look for, exclusives or games that were like, intrinsically linked to that ecosystem. And I was kind of worried because I was like, oh man, like, there's not going to be that much variety. Like, they're all going to be like around the same plot. But actually, when I was looking at some of these scores, there are some I was just like, I cannot believe that this is the open critic score for this game. Like, when I saw Sea of Thieves, I was shocked because I was like, how could this game get less than 70? This, like, but that's because I'm hearing people like, it's so improved now. And the game is like, I'm sure if people re-reviewed it now, it would get a much higher score, but obviously this is like the historic score of around when it came out.
Would have been 99.
Right. Anyway, let's. I don't want to keep you guys here forever because we've got like 12 more games to get through. So the next game is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is that higher, lower, or the same as 85?
Isn't this the game that IGN gave like a 10 out of 10 to?
I'm not saying nothing.
Do you know, it's like Flight Simulator's not as impressive as much as like I played it once and I'm like, all right, that's good, but I don't know how they score. No idea. No fucking clue.
I'm getting that now.
I'm glad it's Gary.
Was it me?
Mac is just like pass.
So what I'm going to say about this game is, I think a lot of people who play it would be niche people. Like, I don't think they would just like just get this random person to review it, because you're just not going to enjoy a game like that. So I'm going to say this game is higher, and I'm going to say it got an overall of 94.
Wow. Off me.
Wow.
Is it me second then, isn't it?
I think it's Mac.
Aye. I'm going to go for 90 on the nose, Rahul. 90.
Okay, so higher.
Oh, there it is. I see it on your nose now.
All right, Hoodie, on you.
It's higher, and I'll say 92.
Oh, you're a swine.
All right. So, shall I wait for Gary to come back?
Oh, don't worry about it.
It's always here.
So we got all of you went higher. Mac went 90.
Like
Gary went 94. Hoodie cut you and the guys in the middle went 92.
Right.
Big dub for Hoodie. The score is 92.
Fucking
let's go.
5 points. Big dub on getting that one correctly. So yeah, Microsoft Flight Sim. Huge scores. As you guys all identified, the people who reviewed it must have been the type of people who like these games. I mean, graphically, it's insane. Like I've seen people with £5,000 setups like playing it because you need something like that to do like the 4K 60 frames stuff. Like it's just so realistic.
Yep.
But yeah, big surprise. I would not have expected it to score that high. And as you guys said, I didn't think there was an Xbox game that had 90 plus. So there we go. it does exist.
Tell you what, I just Googled it to fact check myself. They did give it a 10 out of 10. IGN.
IGN?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Right. Game number 4 in the Xbox round. Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh no.
You know, I was sitting there going, we're so high up here that the next one's got to be low, and I'm like, do you know what? Rahul's one of the people though. It's just a wee bit of devil in him. You know what I mean? But I think off the gate, it's got to be fucking hell. That's got to be lower, surely.
Oh, dude, this game came out like it was broken as hell.
Was it?
Yeah, this game did not work.
Ah, that's good to know. Thanks for
Yeah.
that wee bit of knowledge.
You're welcome. Listen, I'm not here to win. I'm here to have fun, man. It's all go in this, all right, man.
Okay, right. So it didn't come out very well, but also it's got the nostalgia factor for a lot of people as well.
That is also true.
Halo in it.
Yep.
Also, asterisk that. I think it was the online that was fucked more than the single player. So that
people love the fucking single players though. I'm first, aren't I?
Yeah.
Can I just go lower with 87?
Respectable. I think so. Is it? I don't know. Don't know the list anyway.
Is me next?
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay. It's obviously going to be lower. I'll say, I guess 78.
Whoa, quite a lot lower. Right.
So I'll go
Gary.
lower, and I'll go 82.
Okay. So we got Mac lower 87, Gary lower 78, and Hoodie lower 82.
Me and Hoodie are mixed up there.
Huge dub for someone. Mr. Mac got it bang on with 87.
Oh, damn. Let's go, dude.
Now, this was an interesting one because I also remember it launching terribly and people saying the multiplayer was broken as hell, wasn't working. And I don't know if this is a case where people changed their scores after it was fixed, because OpenCritic is like live scoring. Like anyone who re-reviews it can update it. I don't know if that's what happened here, or if the people just thought the single player campaign was still excellent enough, like even though multiplayer was broken. But yeah, 87. So big dub, 5 points for Mr. Mac getting it right on. And
great job,
now we have our last game in the Xbox round. It's one that I think a couple of you are definitely familiar with. It is Minecraft.
Oh man,
that's a hard one.
When it first came out?
When it whatever the OpenCritic score is as of today.
As of today, so people could be fucking
changed, couldn't it?
Man.
So I believe Hoodie is on you to go first for this one.
Good luck.
So it's higher or lower than 87? Is that what we're talking about here?
That is correct, yeah.
That's...
oh man.
This is going to be lower, but I don't know. Maybe like a 84?
Did Minecraft ever get like re-released? Like, if they get properly like re-released.
Came out of beta. If I guess you're going to count that as a re-release.
People have always.
I mean, Fortnite's still in beta, so
Really?
No, it's no.
Yeah.
No, it's it.
Yeah, Fortnite.
That's
Fortnite's still in beta because they want to avoid the update fee, or it makes it easier for them to put out updates.
They brought
Essentially,
that
is why they keep it in beta.
They brought that out of beta.
They took it out.
Yeah, they made a big thing about it.
Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Really out here giving them financial advice, like Epic Games.
Epic
way
money.
easier to keep it in beta.
That'll
Like,
save a lot on your taxes if you kept it in beta. someone at Epic is listening to this podcast like, really? Somebody get this guy hoodie. Put him on the phone.
Never mind. But if there are any free bucks out there, free V-Bucks.
Yeah. We'll take it.
So what are we looking in? What are we looking
What
at?
if we go low then? Again, is it 88, 87?
87.
Okay, so wait, hoodie is going lower and
84.
84.
Then Gary.
I'm going to go lower as well, and I'm going to go 82.
Okay.
I'm gonna go higher with 89.
Okay. One of you was correct. Mr. Mac, you went higher. That is correct. And you were 1 point off. It scored 90.
I'm so close to going to say that.
Oh,
so you get 2 points for that because you will plus one score off.
Wow.
So that is the
forget
Xbox
about
round.
Minecraft Legends. We got Mac Legend over here.
That's only the first round.
Wow.
Right, let me total these up real quick.
That's quite interesting.
That definitely has been re-reviewed, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's like live.
That's gotta
It's
be.
got to be.
People have always loved Minecraft. Like
Yeah.
I remember being when I was in college, and that was 2012, and people were talking about Minecraft like back then, like as if it was the best fucking thing since sliced bread, and there wasn't much to it then. So you just imagine, like, I mean, that thing has been setting the fucking place ablaze since back then. So that was my reasoning for higher.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, I'll give you a little, the first third we are through. There are only 1 point separating each place.
Wow.
In third place with 8 points is Gary. In second place with 9 points is Hoodie. And Mr. Mac is in the lead with 10 points.
So close.
Let's go, dude.
No, I'm quite glad how close this has come out, because I was like, if one person gets it on the nose, then they're just gonna have a huge advantage. But actually, yeah, you guys have been pretty close, and there's been some good guesses. But anyway, let's move straight into round 2, the PlayStation round. Hopefully, you guys played more of these. But yeah, so actually, the base score that I've put for all of them is 75, so that's the starting point.
Okay.
And the first game in the PlayStation round is Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. Wow.
And it is on Gary to go first.
It is.
So
That's such a hard one.
See, this is hard now because this is kind of throwing its head. If it's live reviews, then you just don't know. Is people reviewing this after? Like, I fell into a false sense of security with.
You take a dive, did you?
I took a dive right in after Sea of Thieves. So I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna say 75.
Ooh, okay, the first one is the same.
There's got to be one. Rahul would always put the higher, lower, the same. He did say the same. So
it must be in there somewhere.
Must be in there somewhere. Aye. Oh, I'm second. Shit, I was
Can we
waiting for
copy
Rudy.
each other, by the way?
You can, aye.
Okay.
So I'm second, didn't I? This one.
Yeah.
I do. I'm going to say that it came out the gate. Oh, it's a fucking Fall Guys pun.
Alright. On fire with the puns.
Guess that it came out with a 85.
Oofed.
So you're gonna say higher?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, that's right, because people can keep updating their reviews.
That game is not an 85. Fuck my life if that game's an 85.
You don't think
I fucking love that game.
You don't think all the kids out there that are obsessed with this game are like, oh man, I gotta go review this thing at a 90. This is the greatest thing on earth.
This is the critical score on OpenCritic.
No random kids. Remember?
One, yeah.
Oh,
not the user score.
Okay.
User score is probably about 30. Nobody likes it these days. So, what you
like Mike's out there, dude.
What are you
see here?
What are you thinking?
Same.
Oh,
wow. I'm copying Gary.
Game's Gary.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can tell you that Mr. Mac has extended his lead. He is correct. It was higher, but it did not score as high as 85. It got an 80. Or it's sitting on an 80.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty good score from Fall Guys.
So that same still in there somewhere.
It's coming from Nintendo.
All right. The next game following on from Fall Guys is Days Gone.
Oh.
Wow. Every other game is just a shock. Oh, I don't, man.
Higher or lower than 80?
Lower.
It is on Mr. Lower. Mac to go first.
Yeah, definitely lower. Lower 77.
Okay, that was not much thinking. Just went with your gut instinct. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Yeah. If I'm honest with you, I'd like a few numbers, but I've been trying not to do that because I'm I'll just annoy myself if I think about a number and then I change my mind.
That's good. That's
good. So this game, is it me next?
Hoodie.
Hoodie's next.
Oh, Hoodie, I'm not giving you any fucking information, so fuck you.
Thanks.
You can't copy Gary. What are you gonna do?
I think it's lower. I'll say 74.
All right.
So
actually, they think it's low 70s to be honest.
So I'm going to sound like I'm copying Hoodie now. that was my number. So
was it?
You know what I'm going to do?
We'll never know.
I'm just going to try and just go one lower. I'll go 73.
Okay. You should have went one higher. You should have went one higher.
Okay. All right, so we're locking it in. Mr. Max on lower 77. Gary lower 74. Hoodie was lower 74, and Gary went 73. And one of you was 1 point off.
Ooh.
It is Gary.
Shout out, Gary.
The OpenCritic score for Days Gone was 72.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
2 points there. Obviously, Mac and Hoodie both get a point for getting the lower part correct. All right.
If we were guessing with our hearts, I would have put it at 50, but I won't.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Jeez, brutal.
I like that. I like that.
Wow.
I like that.
Hoodie does not like Days Gone. All right. Game 3 in the PlayStation round. This one, I've just been self-indulgent. I've just selected one that I love, and it is Genshin Impact.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm so glad Hoodie's gone first.
Right, Rahul, I think you need to give us a bit of background knowledge on this game, because I fucking don't know a clue about this game.
So let's just rewind where I explained. It's an open world Japanese RPG game about a twin trying to find his lost twin who was captured by some god, and he can travel between realms, and he finds himself in this new world. And basically, I've spent close to 1,000 hours doing random quests for different townspeople that you meet in different cities, but actually I'm no closer to finding my sister. That's the background. So that's what you got to go off.
It's definitely higher.
What was the score again? 70 what?
72.
72.
72, right.
Ladies first.
It's got to be higher. I'm going to say an 86.
Ooh, okay. 86.
What do you think, Gary?
So this is going to be a hard one because I feel like it's a niche again, but I feel like maybe people maybe gave it a wee critique as well. That were probably like, "What the fuck is this shit?" You know? So I'm kind of in between here.
Are you also giving it a day Scott score?
I think it's I think it's higher than 72. I would say 79. Let's go for that.
All right, Mr. Mac, on you.
Higher. 85, Rahul.
This was like free to play Breath of the Wild.
Aye, people were
That's what I remember this.
mad about this when it first came out.
Yeah.
Me and Kumail were both. We got the little pre-order pack, so the starter pack. We played it every day for about a month, and then Kumail dropped off, and then I just never did. And here we are 3 years later. Here we are 3 years later, or 2.5 years later, or whatever it is. Insane.
That's what's magic about a game that you just fall in love with.
Yeah, 100%. Like Genshin for me is that perfect mixture of like, there is some thought to like how you compose your team and like what strategy you use, but then it's also equally mindless and like therapeutic to just grind and get through your dailies and do what you have to do. Anyway, enough of me gushing about that. You were all correct. It did get a higher score than 72, but none of you were on the sort of on the nose or plus or minus. It scored 81. Pretty respectable score, because as you said, it is a bit of a niche. It did have some problems running on PS4 when it first came out. It was quite buggy. But then when when PS5 came out and you could transfer your save over to PS5, it ran flawlessly and still does. But yeah. All right. So the next game number 4 in the PlayStation round, Detroit Become Human.
Oh
shit!
Higher or lower than 81, or the same?
What a
I think Gary's going
series of
first
games
on this one.
yeah.
Gary has gone first. Aye, thank fuck.
See, this is another hard one because it came out to a wee bit. Everybody was in a bit of a bad mood with the creator, David Cage, wasn't he, at the time? Everybody was a wee bit like, he's a prick.
What was it? Yeah. Was it at the time though? Was it no after that?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it feels like
I feel like it was bubbling.
Aye, that's a hard one. What are we at? 81.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say. What am I going to say? I'm going to say same.
Ooh, same. Okay.
I'm going to say higher, 83.
You fucking prick.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, lower 78.
Oh.
Wow, that's the first time we all went 3 different.
Yeah, we got a higher, a same, and a lower. One of you is correct. Hoodie, you were correct. Wow. It was lower, and you also get 1 extra point because you were 1 off, and the score was 79.
Wow, that's not bad. It's not a bad score, but I did think it'd be a bit higher because of the whole multipath choicing thing. Like, I just think that gets stuff automatically in my mind. I think that's held in a higher regard, but
yeah.
You know what?
I think when they showed this game, it was at like an E3 PlayStation press conference, and I think it showed really well. Like they had like a, excuse me. They had like this graphic of like all the different butterfly effect paths. And I think I was watching the Kind of Funny like live watch along of it, and everyone seemed pretty like, wow, this is like a really cool way of doing it. And I was like, oh yeah, this looks pretty good. But yeah, didn't score as high as maybe it should have.
Yeah,
I'll echo.
Like it should be higher.
I think it's.
I'll echo Mac's sentiments too.
Yeah.
I think most games like this, where there are branching paths, do score higher. Except I think people have run out of stamina with this guy's games, not just because of him, but like I don't think after Heavy Rain, a lot of those games hit for people in the same way. I think Beyond Two Souls was a very mixed bag for people, and then you went into this with that same kind of lingering taste in your mouth of, well, did I like that game very much? And then they released a demo, which I think also probably scratched an itch for people to decide whether or not they wanted to play it. I know that's what happened with me, where I was like, I played the demo and I was like, okay, I'm not going to play this whole game, but there's that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that actually, because I never even bought the game on release, because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit, I should have thought of that.
Definitely. I got that game kind of came at the end of that kind of period, didn't it, where all of these story games were coming out. I think people were just
Telltale.
They were fatigued with everything that was coming out at that point. So it came at a bad time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be more, again, self-indulgent with this last game in the PlayStation round. It's a franchise I absolutely love. I'm pretty sure you guys would have played it if you're big PlayStation fans. But it is Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Oh, yes.
The reboot. So this was the one that kind of rebooted the storyline of the first one of the original. So not the most recent one, which was Rift Apart. But yeah, the first time we saw Ratchet and Clank on PS4.
Fuck.
Have you played it, Mr. Mac? You are first, by the way.
I'm sure I played that one. I'm going to say higher. 91.
Ooh, okay. Hoodie.
As this being my favorite franchise, I remember the sentiment of, this is the first game that makes me feel like playing a Pixar game, being echoed throughout all reviews.
Yeah.
I will say, obviously higher.
Yep.
80.
Big decisions.
Ooh, man. 85?
85. All right.
So
I'm Gary.
And number just came to the top of my head, and I'm just not changing it. So it's 88.
Hey.
I've went far too high.
All right. Wait, you think you went far too high?
I've locked in. So
all right. Well, you guys were all correct. It was higher than Detroit Become Human 79. Hoodie coming in clutch with another plus or minus. You were 1 point away. It scored 86.
Wow.
Hey,
let's go, dude. Let's
there we
go.
go. Good job there. All right. So let's add up the scores.
I thought that was a close one when I was kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, all them were kind of close, weren't they? Everybody was every single one of them. Everybody was like 2 or 3 off.
Aye.
So the leader has changed following this round.
Hoodie.
Scary.
In third place, it is Gary with 12 points. In second place, it is Mac with 14 points. But in the lead with 15 points is Hoodie.
Look at us, neck and neck.
Very close game. Very close game. And to finish off the final round, we are going to Nintendo. Now,
dude, Nintendo is the most fucked up. Like, people love Nintendo games when they turn like way too high.
Everything's got to be 90 and 100.
Yeah. Honestly, man.
And so yeah, I did have that issue where I started looking at the big Nintendo games, Smash Bros, Mario Odyssey, Zelda, and I was like, wow, these are all really high, like 90s. So I've tried to pick some Nintendo titles that maybe are not as well known as the mainline games, so we get a bit of variety. So here we go. So the base score starting off is 75. And the first game is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a great series,
my
though.
God.
It's a great series, dude.
Right.
So I think
who
Hoodie
did
is
it?
first to go on this one.
Who did? Oh, that's a hard one.
I mean, it's higher. It's got to be higher.
Yeah.
There's no way it's that
Yeah, I
low.
would say so.
Luigi's great. He's better than Mario. I'll go at 83.
Okay. Gary, what do you?
So I'd say Nintendo people love a wee bit of Luigi. They love a bit of Mansion. Love to get the Ghostbuster on.
Love a bit of Mansion.
I would say
Who doesn't?
This game, 87.
Ooh, 87. Okay.
I believe it though. Like it's a Nintendo game.
Exactly. Gets a Nintendo bump.
Mr. Mac.
Can I just be really scummy and just say the same as Gary?
You scum.
You can do whatever you want. You're saying the same as Gary.
87, aye.
Rebel scum.
Look at us, Mac, the scumbag bros.
And there's a
Alright,
reason
you
why I've
all-
done that.
You were all correct. It was higher than 75. And you were all close to getting
Oh.
between 1 point away. It scored 85. So Hoodie, you were 2 points away, and Mac and Gary, you were 2 points away on the other side. But a point for everyone for getting.
I should have split the difference between these, but do you know, as Gary took it for his or predicted to be another one for the next like games that are coming, so I thought he might have done a wee bit of research or something to see like something down the lines. I just had a wee bit of suspiciousness about me that Gary already knew what it was. So I was like, I'm just fucking copying him. So a wee bit of thingy there. Sorry.
Good plan. All right, the second game in the Nintendo round is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Oh man.
Who's first?
Sure.
It's Gary.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Thank fuck for that.
So I've not got a clue. I do not have
How
a
you
clue
might
about
guess
this
this?
game. So what was it? 85.
85.
Surely it didn't get higher than Luigi's Mansion. You just don't know, man. Just that Nintendo bump, but
People fucking love Donkey Kong.
did they? It's so hard.
Dude, Tropical Freeze was very high.
85 we're saying. I'm saying same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gary's the only person that's fucking popping out this same.
I know. I feel like you might be right, but I'm going to go for 88, Rahul.
Okay, Mac going higher.
Who'd he go lower?
Absolutely not. People loved this game.
People just love throwing barrels.
All right, Hoodie, what are you thinking?
This is higher. I'll say 87.
Ooh.
Okay. This has caused probably the biggest shift in the scores because Gary was correct. It scored the same.
Let's go.
And
great job,
What
Gary.
you guys may not have figured out, but if you say same, that you are basically getting the score correct, like on the nose. So you get 5 points
All
for
right.
the same
That's
being
it.
correct. So good job, Gary. Unfortunately, both of you guys were more than 1 point away. So Hoodie and Mac, you get 0 points on that one.
All right. Fair
Hell
dues.
yeah.
Fair dues.
All right, game 3 in the Nintendo round. Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
For God's sake.
Was this 85?
Yeah, so the score for Donkey Kong was 85.
I'll say higher, 89.
Higher, 89.
Is it me next?
Am I next?
Hoodie's next.
Yep.
Higher, 92.
92.
Hmm.
Fuck me, there's every chance of that.
Do you know people
Gary.
love? Do you know
Oh,
people
no,
love
is
this game? But I don't see it. See when I play it, I've played it and I'm like, I just don't see it. Like when I play this game, I just like, So I'm just fucking going my gut. Fuck it. I'm saying lower, and I'm saying 84.
That's just me with every modern Nintendo game where I'm
honestly,
I don't see it.
Honestly, I was like, this Kirby game, I was like, oh, we'll buy it for my daughter, and I bought it, and I was like, I played it, and I was like, what the fuck? How is this brilliant? Like, it's getting pure amazing reviews.
So
you still said lower?
Right.
This is an interesting one. I've tricked you guys. I've gone same again.
Oh,
so it's called 85. But now here's my dilemma, because Gary said 84, which is 1 point away.
I still get that.
So I feel like you should get the 2 points because that's like the guess spot on.
85.
Great job, Gary.
Wow.
So yeah, big bits of Gary doing quite well in the Nintendo round with the 5 and the 2. So
came for last place.
That's because I'm a Nintendo geek.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Got your next tattoo, Gary.
Oh yeah, amazing. All right, game 4 in the Nintendo round, Super Mario Party.
Oh.
Now there are 2 Super Mario Party games on the Switch. Well, I'm talking about the Switch version, the one that came out first. So the second one was like Mario Party Superstars.
Superstar,
Yep.
But I'm looking for the one that came out first on Switch. And the score you are looking at, or basing it off of, is 85.
Who's first?
Hoodie.
It is Hoodie.
Hoodie.
Lower 80. No. 79.
Wow, 79. Okay. Gary.
So. Oh. I'm going to go with 80. I'm going to be dirty. Sorry, Hoodie. I was going to copy you, but.
I get it, dude. You're going for the win here. I believe in you.
I'll say 87.
Higher. 87.
Higher, 87.
He's got his fucking phone out. Look at him cheating. You can see him.
I would. I'm a fidget. Like, I'm going to be honest. I'm a fidget. I'm currently playing with a cable tie. I can't. I'm just. Phone's over here.
For the penultimate game of the quiz, one of you got it spot on.
Oh.
And it was Hoodie with 79.
Well done.
Gary coming in with the plus minus 1, so getting 2 points, because obviously you said 80.
Well,
and Mr. Mac not getting anything on that one.
Oh, thanks, Rahul.
I just call it how it is, you know. What can I say?
I mean, we can. We're not a lawyer, but we can fucking count. Do you know what I mean? I was well off. Forget it. I think I put it.
I think the larger consensus was that this version of the game had so little to offer, especially in the way of new mini games.
Yeah. There weren't any updates. There were no free updates. There were no updates. Full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think you could even buy updates. So yeah,
is this the last game?
This is the last game of the quiz.
Just for suspensions purposes, can we get a score count to see how close these two guys are? Because I'm sure I've fell too far behind. But
okay,
I believe in yourself, dude.
I just
like the wrap of the wrap.
I'm just interested. Is there any tiebreakers, by the way? Did you prepare that? I don't know.
I do have a tiebreaker.
I see it. Listen, I don't even know why I questioned the man.
Right there.
I know that
let's tie.
Know that I'll be able to take part. I'm sure I'm too far. I did really shite in that last one. I would just like to know so we can build suspense. Dun 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 dun. I don't want to get copyrighted.
Mr. Dick Mac did shit there because he bought a Steam Deck and if he bought a Nintendo scores.
I will say that one player cannot win now.
Oh,
but the other two players, there is 1 point between you. But I'm not going to say who until we reveal the final.
I like that.
One of you guys, you don't know who. Maybe you do know who. I don't know if you've been working it out as we go along. But one of you is just playing for glory now. No names being said.
No.
last game in the Nintendo round is one that I actually really enjoyed playing. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but I didn't really know what this game was. But it is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh wow, what a fucking pull. Who's first?
Ooh.
Who's first here again?
I believe it's Gary.
Fucking
Gary.
hell.
Oh, it's awesome. What's
Fucking
the score
hell.
again, Rahul? Based on score for
It's higher or lower than 79.
Right.
I don't even know what this game is. Like, I actually don't even got a clue.
So it's really cool. Basically, you have these like 3D. Can't imagine like Fez. Have you ever played Fez?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I love
Basically,
Fez.
imagine like a 3D environment, and it's kind of like a puzzle game. Like you have to control Toad, and it's sort of taken from like an isometric, like top-down view, and you have to control Toad and basically navigate him through these puzzle scenarios where you're trying to collect treasure, and it just gets more and more complicated as you go along. And you'll do something which creates some chain effect, which lets you climb up to something, which lets you open a bridge, which lets you get to the treasure or whatever. And basically you have these very like curated little kind of maps that you just go through, and there are loads of secret like hidden treasures on them. It's really fun. I highly recommend it. I literally had no idea about this game, and someone said it's quite like a fun like time pass. Like it's not too intense, like it's very casual, easy to pick up and play. And I just fell in love with it and got addicted to it. And I was like, oh my god, I need to complete every single like extra objective on every map and like do the time trials of them and stuff. Oh, it's great.
What number are we on?
It really is.
What are we on? 78?
You're guessing higher, lower, or the same as 79.
I'm going to go... It's going to be higher. It's going to be higher on party. I'm going to go 82. 82. That's what I'm going to guess.
All right.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Not
that it fucking matters much for me. Although, let me just say this: if I'm schooled by quite a lot as the fucking editor, producer, whatever the fuck you want to call me, this episode will never see the fucking light of day. You better put my score up by a few, right? No, I'll just cut to the chase because it's really all about these two boys. But I'll just say 84.
Okay.
No, I've never heard of this one. I've never heard of this.
No, it sounds good. The fact that you said Fez, I'm like, that's quite a unique style, and it would draw a lot of people's attention for that reason. So that was my thinking for higher. Who do you think?
I think after Super Mario Odyssey, this is my favorite Switch game. It is fantastic. It's higher, 91.
Wow,
Fucking hell, man.
All right. Let me tally up the final scores.
Oh, I really.
Were you going with your heart there, Hoodie?
I'm going with what I think is correct, which is also my heart.
It's funny, I'm so torn because Gary finished last the first two rounds. I love an underdog story, but I don't like Gary winning.
Well, I can say that as there is definitely a winner, and it is
Smack.
with an absolutely spot-on final open critic prediction for Captain Toad. Gary,
Oh, well done.
82.
Let's go,
Well
dude.
done.
82.
Don't even know the
which
game. Well
gives
done.
you 5 points. And so the final
job.
scores are
Well
in
played.
third place, Mr. Mac, with a very respectable score of 16. Hoodie in second place with a also very respectable score of 22. But Gary out in front with a huge 27 points.
Well done. Cleaned up in that
Let's
Nintendo round.
go, dude.
GG's.
Cleaned up, yeah.
That's incredible.
Well played. Well
I would
played.
like to thank my mum, thank my dad, thank the Vault Dwellers for letting me be on this podcast. Thank Rahul for doing this. That was absolutely fantastic. I knew I would have pulled through in the end. Sometimes you just need to go through the shit to get to the end of it. You know, It's been an absolutely great experience, and I have to say, Nintendo's my favourite console ever.
Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
Aye, it does. It's his daughter.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
Aye.
Awesome. Well, there we go. That was the open critic quiz. Glad you guys.
Look how easy you got that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised at the number of correct, like bang on answers. So throughout the entire quiz, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guesses that were bang on.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Which for a score from, like, you know, assuming it could have been anywhere between like 60 to 100, because, you know, I was trying to keep it close.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good to get
good.
like quite a few like spot on hits. And I'm really pleased that someone did get a same correct. So good job, Gary.
Aye, you were bound to get one of them right.
Yeah, I put 2 of them in, and I put them next to each other just to be mean.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
It was well played. It was well played.
Yeah.
This has been so fun. This has actually been such a... You know, see when we were top of episode ideas, and as soon as we did the last ones, I was like, I just want to do another one of these game shows, and we just came up with this idea, and obviously Mr. Mac contacted yourself, and you've done an absolute cracking job. Much appreciated.
Yeah, we can definitely I can definitely try and do like more of these, and like if you want like every like 3 months or something, I can throw one in and do like because I was thinking about it, like because I was thinking how to approach it, and I was like, all right, in my head we want 3 rounds, so we're gonna do Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, but like we could do RPG category, we could do like PS1, PS2, PS3, like
films.
We could do like well, we could do it doesn't even have to be games, it could be anything. So I'm happy to kind of you know, like work with you guys and do like maybe like a running competition throughout, if that's something you guys want to do.
Definitely.
No, for sure. I think
100%.
Gary definitely. We were trying to think of like names and stuff like that for what to come up with, and we did obviously bring up the point like we're not entirely sure. Like if like because obviously you done it the first time, but it might not be. Like, I don't really know if you want to do it again, kind of thing. So
this is fun.
I'm glad that you're obviously keen on coming back on and running back through it, because that was a load of fun, and I'm hoping that everybody that's obviously listening is enjoying it is enjoyed it as well. Not once did I think like about like I'm going to fucking look this up, because what's the point? But like it's so fun to sit here and be like, oh my god, like even when I locked in, like I didn't even want to know. I was like, I'm waiting for Rahul, because I just want that build up to find out like how close it was. Like,
that's cool as well, because then you kind of maybe think about like, you know, maybe Gary's gonna get this won him the competition, so maybe he's gonna go check out Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
You never know.
Maybe you found a new game out of it.
Maybe
I've got to play games.
Cool. Like, you know, if it'd be interesting if like anyone's if anyone's been playing along at home, then maybe post in the comments if what your scores were. Maybe someone was doing that. I should have said that at the start, like play along at home as well.
Aye, we fucking tried that as well, but nobody comments or anything like that. No, I'm being bitter about it.
If everybody just wants to comment this time and put wee crowns for me, just to sit right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Put crowns, or if you've got a magic spreadsheet that somehow works out your score. I can't work out Rahul's scoring system. I know that I'm better because I finished last at it. But you'll all be lucky to see this episode. Right. Anyway, Rahul, I'm gonna. We obviously go through our kind of outro, and then we have the thing that plays after the episode and kind of runs through our kind of credentials, if you want to call them that. So I'll set you up to say kind of goodbye first. If you can kind of tell the people where they can find you and keep up with you on the internets.
Well, no, thank you. First of all, thanks very much for having me. Been a big fan of the show, but fulfilling a lifelong dream. Well, a dream since I've heard about the podcast, so maybe like a couple months, to be on the show. So it's awesome to have been here. The people, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Rahulahoop with an underscore. I'm sure I'm sure we're going to give MrMac more work, but you can probably put all this stuff in the description somewhere as well.
Fucking.
But it's Rahul Hoop with an underscore, and then my Twitch channel is exactly the same, twitch.tv/Rahul Hoop with an underscore. I'm often found playing Genshin and possibly some indie titles.
Fantastic streamer.
Fantastic streamer.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Matt.
Fucking news gave me.
Do you have anything to say about my streaming?
Good to see how guys.
I agreed. I said absolutely, dude.
Oh, thank you.
It's incredible.
Okay, excellent.
What's the replay in, Mac? The replay before I was called out for something I didn't do.
Exactly. He's fitting right in here now. He's just as self-indulgent as Gary is. That's perfect. I appreciate your support, and I honestly think that even outside these quizzes, I would gladly have you back for any topic that would fit. So
yeah, happy to jump on.
Good.
Yeah, I gotta say this was an absolute blast, and thanks for putting this whole thing together, because I mean this really landed on you to host our podcast as the guest.
I do love a good quiz. If anyone knows anything about me,
fun.
I love a good quiz, and I love the league and open critic scores and all that, like stats, all those kind of stats stuff about games. So yeah, this was a super fun quiz for me to put together. Like, I had like lists of games that I could go through, and then trying to structure them in a way where like the higher lower would be like kind of close, or would lead to like a conversation or make it tough. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It shows actually that you put that kind of research in. Like, there's no like I don't think I've done I kind of like quizzes in the past, and they're quite difficult when it's like trying to remember about like, who's what's the name of the bike that such and such rides, and you're like, no, I don't know it. But this kind of format where it's like that higher and lower promotes conversation, makes you like fucking really doubt yourself. Like that's the kind of thing, and that I really enjoyed. I almost kind of cut our Gary off. What were you building up there to say, Gary?
Rahul, you just better watch. You're doing such a good job that you're going to be like Hoodie and end up being a Vault Dweller soon. And you'll be like, what have I got into?
Oh, man.
Rahul's like, fucking...
my fuck.
Mute. Hey, okay. Listen, thanks very much again. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And until next time, take care.
Listen, it's no quiz. We love you, Rahul. Thank you for showing up for this.
And
we love you, dwellers at home.
Goodbye from the people's champion, children.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Vault Dwellers Podcast. You can keep up with Gary Moore at Gary Moore's Art over on Instagram. Keep up with myself, Twitter, on Twitch at MrMac92, and you can't keep up with Hoodie at The Penny Marvels over on Instagram. A very special shout out to Al the Predator Tribesman for creating the intro and outro music. Thanks again for listening. Take care. Bye.